speed still be there? How about his power? He would certainly like to make himself marketable in this division. Maybe some bigger fights come along for him.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, that's not all we have for you. We've got a co-feature that should be a good one. Clarence "Bones" Adams against Tommy Parks. You've seen Clarence here on Top Rank Boxing before. He's a man who fought for the title once as a bantamweight, I believe, and he's a good fighter.
He was building himself up. You saw him as he led up to the Orlando Canizales bout for that bantamweight title. 28-3 in one mark, 16 knockouts. A shoulder injury hurt him. He went back to 6-round company, and he thinks the shoulder is okay now.
Well, right now, it feels good. I'm training. I don't think that I could hit as hard as I did before, but I think every day in sparring and everything keeps getting better and better. So I give it another 3 months, and I'll be hitting as hard or harder.
Well, Tommy Parks hopes he's not hitting as hard or harder as he did before. For Tommy Parks, he has not been to the mountaintop as Clarence "Bones" Adams was to a title shot. He's a fighter hoping to make his name still, and this is a good opportunity to do that.
He would love to utilize the ring tonight too, Al, because here's a fighter who once ran 24 miles to a gym. If he went 2 more miles, he would have had the marathon. The 19-7 mark, 10 knockouts. He wants to utilize the ring. That will be his type of fight.
You know, I'm a good mover anyway, a good puncher. It's ideal that I had to get in my mind that I could throw more punches I really thought I couldn't throw, but combination is basically me. It's deep down within that I'm going to pull out tonight in the fight.
All right, so it's set up for you, Tommy Parks, Clarence Adams. But before we get to that matchup, we'll take a look at the rules here in the state of Mississippi. We've been having more and more visits down here, and Dave will guide you through them.
Here's how it looks. The 10-point must-scoring system in effect. 3 judges score the fight. The referee does not figure into it, but he can't stop the fight. The standing 8 count would count as one of the 3 knockdowns. 3 knockdowns in a round ended. The fighter can be saved by the bell in the last round only. And pop quiz, the butt rule, it's 3 rounds in Mississippi.
All right, so there'll be a quiz later on, but for now, just memorize all that. Let's go now up to our ring announcer, Ed Darian.
From Sam's Town Hotel and Gambling Hall, here in Tunica, Mississippi, Top Rank Incorporated and Budweiser, the king of beers, in association with Frank Gell Promotions and Sam's Town, proudly present Top Rank Boxing, and is approved by the Mississippi State Athletic Commission, the Honorable Billy Lyons, Chairman, the Honorable Fred Inglis, Commissioner, and the Honorable Sal Tarantino, Chief Deputy Commissioner. Our physician in attendance at ringside is Dr. Mike Havens. Our judges, Chester Como, Martin Casino, and Fred Steinwinder. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of the scheduled 10-round featherweight bout, referee Elmo Adolf. And now, boxing fans, introducing the principals. First in the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the red trim. He weighed in at 126 3/4 pounds. This young man hails from Gulfport, Mississippi, and fighting out of New Orleans, Louisiana. He has 19 wins, 7 losses with 10 knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Tommy Schoolboy Parks. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the green trunks with the gold trim. He weighed in at an even 127 pounds. From Carmi, Illinois, he has 28 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, with 16 knockouts. He is currently ranked number 3 by the WBO. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Clarence "Bones" Adams.
All right, gentlemen, both of you have received your instructions prior to coming into the ring. I want you to have a good, clean fight. Pay attention to my commands at all times. Shake hands now. Go back to your corner.
So we are set to go in this one. That's 30-year-old Tommy Parks, who has a good opportunity in front of him if he can make the most of it. 10 years his junior, Clarence "Bones" Adams, who's already a veteran despite his tender years. He's been fighting for 4 years as a pro. And this one should be an intriguing matchup. I did not hear the bell, but I assume somebody rang it, huh?
They did it with their hand. Let's go, and that's how they started. Okay. Clarence "Bones" Adams was lying about his age. He got fights back 4 years ago and was able to get that, and now has a lot of experience at age 20.
Bones Adams, as Dave got him to talk about at the weigh-in this morning, was talking about the shoulder injury. We saw it against Frank Toledo in his last bout here on ESPN. He ended up losing that fight by TKO primarily because of the shoulder problem. And he says it's all healed now. He had an operation to fix it.
He had surgery, came back with a 6-round victory over Sam Black back in August, and he deliberately went 6 rounds to test it. Now he comes up to the 10-round distance. But you always wonder in the back of your mind, can I really cut loose, and will it ever come back?
And he is a quality fighter. We mentioned that he had a shot at the IBF title. Went into the 11th round against Orlando Canizales for the Bantamweight Championship. That was in France. The shoulder created a loss for him in the 11th round, but he was holding his own against Canizales in that match.
He was doing very well, and it's a performance that bodes well for his future. It gives him a good opportunity to see how valuable he is and make him think he should win all of these kinds of fights now.
He lands a right hand to the head of Parks. Halfway through round 1. This one is scheduled for 10 rounds. Adams pursuing him, and of course Parks did say to us today that he would be moving as much as possible.
Running 24 miles to the gym. That's pretty unbelievable.
Explain that. He actually didn't have any transportation to the gym one day and just said, well, I'll run it.
He wanted to get there and I guess make sure he got his workout in, not realizing he got his workout in about a quarter of the way to the gym.
I would say so. Under a minute left to go in round 1. Clarence Bones Adams, who is pursuing Tommy Parks, has really dictated the pace here in round 1.
Some good outside movement there by Parks.
Parks gets in a combination over the low left hand. Adams always holds his hand low, his left hand.
Step back, please. Keep your head up.
Big hook sends Parks down. He may hold it low, but he can use it.
I guess it's okay.
I guess so. Parks gets up. Still a little wobbly, not too much time left to go. He may be able to weather the storm here. And Adams looking to repeat the knockdown, but won't get it here in round 1. So round 1 comes to a conclusion, and if we had one question, as Dave pointed out, we know now the left shoulder of Clarence Adams is pretty good. Let's listen into Parks' corner. Bonanno chatting with Tommy Parks there. Let's take a look at that knockdown.
Watch Bones unload. Steps in perfectly with the left hook, and Parks was walking into it. Increases the impact of it, and he almost won the fight right there. See Bones taking advantage of a wide open defense. He caught Parks in movement, and that's why the hands were spread wide apart.
You know, in retrospect, looking back at that, Dave, I think he was more off balance than he was hurt by that punch, because I don't think Adams got as much into it as he wanted to.
Well, Adams may have surprised himself how much he did get in that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was a shorter left hook, maybe. We are into round 2. It's scheduled for 10. Clarence Adams, they call him Bones, is in the green trunks. In the white is Tommy Parks. Adams comes in with here with the excellent 27-3-1 record. And there you take a look at the numbers in round 1.
This was quite a close round until that one bomb decides it. And that's the type of percentage that would benefit Parks as this fight would go along if he could maintain it that way. To keep Adams down to a 25% accuracy would be very good for him. It would show that he's on the outside making his opponent miss.
Elmo Adolph is the third man in the ring, fine official from this part of the country. Boy, Adams is pressuring Parks. Parks trying to box him, but Bones Adams is very good normally at cutting the ring off, and he's showing some skills in that area.
Yeah, for Parks, this ring may never be big enough.
see Adams trying to set things up with the feinting with the jab, looking again for another power shot that he can get in. You see that Tommy Parks is a slick boxer, though, Dave. He obviously has the skills necessary to box well.
He's got the angles, and that's why you see some patience, some controlled anxiety here from Bones Adams, as Park will try to make him miss, as he does there, move on subtle angles, and really try to get Bones Adams to use up his stamina chasing.
It was frustrating for Adams in the two losses he had, the loss for the title to Canizales and then losing to Frank Solito here on ESPN, because in both those fights he was doing pretty well, you know, and the shoulder injury is what forced him to drop out of those fights.
And it has to be disheartening, especially a title fight. You're right there, maybe adrenaline